This Thursday, the 4th of April, 4/4/2024. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. This is Things You Might Have Heard. This is News Update brought to you by the Conversation Project. And in the queue, 8 news stories from yesterday that you vetted as conversational for our cast this morning. Now, they cover topics from information, politics, current events, and pop culture news, so we have a good gamut of stories. Although we have a trio of Trump-ish stories, so not exactly Trump stuff he did, but stuff around Trump, so it's kind of Trumpian today. Today and every day, we have Things You Might Have Heard. We give you these headlines. You can find more information about what we do to get these things at the Conversation Project's website. This is conversationproject.com. Also, email us with comments at the conversation inbox at gmail.com. 8 stories coming up, plus some fun stuff on the way that you don't want to miss. Let's get into the headlines now, and in no particular order as they go by. We'll explain how we got these particular stories from yesterday's postings and how you vetted them as conversational. There is a process that you do the work, unfortunately for you, fortunately for me, so we get some idea of what stories are actually worth talking about every single morning. Headline number 1, and I think it's worth talking about because it's what the big story all over the place, dealing with José Andrés, who accuses Israel of deliberately targeting the World Central Kitchen members. This is a big deal. José Andrés, who runs the World Central Kitchen, a food bank that essentially travels the world and feeds anyone, anywhere, in any condition, says that the attack, the 3 drone strikes on his caravan of folks helping people out a few days ago, was actually on purpose. Taking a little bit of sip of coffee for effect, so that you let that soak in for a second. José Andrés is saying that not only were this not a big mistake, the vehicles that were targeted, that were hit, big old logos on the top, big old logos on the side, and they of course had a window with a direct path telling the Israelis exactly who they were and where they were. How these 3 vehicles were hit. One strike hit one vehicle, and then they actually moved the people out of the way of the wreckage from the first strike, and then those people were struck. How is this happening? And it's not something deliberate. How is somebody not actually targeting these actual vehicles or this actual charity? Right now, their operations are done, and other operations are really considering not sticking around in Gaza nearby because of what's going on. This is escalating way too crazily. I said that word on purpose, way too fast. What's going on here with Israel and Netanyahu? How we will deal with the overall function, I'm not in charge of anybody important, but right now, there are issues. This thing ain't going right. It's just what it is. Headline number 2. 2 brothers who helped fund Trump media company plead guilty to insider trading. This was actually the top story of the day. And this is the second Truth Social story we posted on the day, later in the day. So this one actually gained a bit after we learned on the fact. But 2 brothers who were significant contributors to the funding of former Donald Trump's social media company, basically getting off the ground, admitted to engaging in insider trading. The mission came when they had to plead guilty to charges related to manipulating stock plans ahead of the company's public announcements. Basically, they used the upcoming Truth Social stock and the fact that it was growing to make side bets and side deals and make more money off the top, as other people are kind of in the stake where they have to lose and win money day by day with the stock price. They essentially took money off the top from some equity in basic ways. Not exactly easy things to do, and which is why when you can do it right, you make big money, and you get caught, hopefully things go wrong. They have pleaded guilty, so we'll see how this goes down. Does it affect Donald Trump? Well, the stock's still out there. We'll see what's going on. This one affects Donald Trump a little bit more, though. The next headline was when we posted earlier. Truth Social owner Trump Media sues 2 former apprentices seeking to wipe out their shares. 2 former contestants on The Apprentice, the actual Apprentice, not the celebrity one where the famous guys just showed up and say, hey, buy some pizzas for $10,000. Andy Litinsky, also known as Andy Deem, the radio guy, and Wes Moss were integral in getting Truth Social off the ground as well. So they have a lot of shares backed into the thing. Trump Media says they actually weren't all that great in what they did. Like Trump says, I don't really know those guys, and they really do very much. They were only on his TV show. And Andy Litinsky actually left a radio deal to go back to work for the Trump organization for media stuff for his presidency. They only work for him a lot. But because of their participation in what's happening and because of what they're calling severe mismanagement, essentially making the stock a little harder to get on listings, even though the guys that actually are going to jail for it basically made the stock a little harder to get on listings. We'll see what happens. Maybe Wes and Andy are actually fall guys for the other two guys that got mixed in the wrong timing of what's going on. Maybe that's what the case was because other guys had more money. We will see what goes on with the most of Truth Social, or the least of Truth Social, as it is basically only having less than 1 million users in a general period, where others access have more than 1 million. Facebook with, of course, billions of users on their platforms. But Trump is talking on Truth Social, so that's what's keeping it going. Let's go to the next headline. This is story number 4 this morning. And the end of the Trump trifecta. This is actual people in Congress, people actually who work for a living taking care of us. House Republicans introduced a bill to rename Dulles Airport after Donald Trump. That's it. A group of House Republicans have recently put out a bill to rename Washington Dulles International Airport, I should say, don't put respect on its name, to be named after former President Trump. It's not going to happen. Just go with the fact that that's not going to happen. It's just a bad idea that they're just pulling at straws at this point. But we'll see what happens if they try to actually put this bill before the Congress, who laughs it off, who does what with it, and why we would want a airport, a national airport, an international airport, a national airport, international airport named after Donald Trump. Yes, Little Rock has Bill and Hillary Clinton Airport, but it's named after both Bill and Hillary, which seems like an oddity, but it is. This one, I don't know what Dulles has done to be worthy of such shame, but hey, we're going to find out when they try to bring it up to actual people with actual common sense, hopefully. We're sticking with the House of Representatives, but we're also doing something that's a little bit different here. I want to make sure that you understand when I do this story here. Most of the times when we are slamming Low and Boebert, we are slamming Low and Boebert. This is not one of those times. This is something that we're going to take extremely seriously and just be as gentle as possible with the representative, as she recently had to undergo a emergency surgery due to a blood clot in her leg. The medical situation led to a diagnosis of May-Thurman syndrome, a condition she was found to have a result of a health scare. Surgery and diagnosis were announced by the Colorado Congresswoman and highlighting the sudden, serious nature of the condition. May-Thurman syndrome is a specific medical condition that can lead to formation of blood clots, which necessitate an urgent medical response. And it happened here for Representative Boebert's case. They had to take care of it immediately. My wife suffers from blood clots and things like that, so I know the seriousness of this. And so this is something that we don't joke about around here. So we're not joking about Lauren Boebert today. Nothing about her silliness and foolishness in Congress. We'll do that later. Trust me, there'll be more to come. Right now, we are sending thoughts, positive attitudes, and prayers for a very, very, very quick recovery so that we can go back to the normalcy of what's going on, because we don't want people sick. We want to, if we're going to attack them, we want them at full strength. And if they're going to attack us, we're going to be at full strength. So we want to be out there on an even keel for this one. So we're hoping for the best. We're pretty sure the best is going to happen. She'll be back on the scene fairly soon, and we'll be back to complaining about what she actually does, not her condition of her health. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is leaving her husband despite his fire pipe game. This is a glib headline that I probably should have changed, but I got it from one of those blogs, E-Bomb World, that does one of those things. And essentially, it's coming out with the news in its own sort of fashion. The fact that the couple who were married in 2022, remember, she just got out of jail in 2023, are divorcing. Apparently, there's a lot of Instagram chat and a lot of just sort of, lovey-dovey, I'm free chat about, how just so great he is in the pipe game. If you don't know what that is, look it up or ask your kids. They'll explain it to you. Here's the problem. Rose Blanchard, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, has left social media recently because her parole officer said, you're going to get yourself in trouble, which he has. So all these things are coming out in some semblance of announcements. This was on social media, by the way. That's one thing going on. But essentially, all the craziness that everyone got to do in their younger days, she's doing now on an offshoot. And essentially, after being pulled out of jail for a murder conviction, she's got to find real life. And it seems like real life with this real husband, this real person, isn't quite gelling the way the dream sought for when they got married while she was behind bars. Many people get married while they're in jail and come out and have great relationships, I'm sure. But it just isn't a setup for the perfect one would think. This next headline, number 7, Lizzo says she's not leaving music industry. Claire's "I quit" statement. That was poorly read. Lizzo says she's not leaving the music industry, comma, clarifies "I quit" statement. That's much better. Lizzo's not going anywhere. You will have Lizzo to kick around for a bit longer because she's not actually quitting music. She is clarifying her "I quit" statement from last week, saying that she's going to take more control of her work, more control of what's going on, more control of going on, and stop listening to fans going forward. Lizzo made a declaration about quitting, clarified that she's not actually leaving music. It's that simple. She's just going to focus on a career and true fans, not the haters, not the people who don't like her for whatever reason, not people who are using her and her image and likeness to, I don't know, put forth all the bad things they have on their minds and their hearts. She's just going to do Lizzo and be Lizzo and not quit music, but she's quitting and focus on much of the negativity out there. The number 8 story of the day is a very odd one. I don't usually bring up Charlie Kirk because he's one of those guys like Candace Owens, who really wasn't worth as much time we gave to her, but Candace Owens was more interesting. Charlie Kirk is not very interesting. He doesn't seem very smart sometimes, but he says things that brings in people and money, and those people are standing by him. The founder of Turning Point USA, the actual headline we have, he blames birth control for creating, quote, very angry and bitter young ladies, unquote, while weighing in on a woman's prime. Basically doing the Don Lemon thing, although he's going really, really low, saying that women in their 30s are no longer in their prime, and they're very bitter and angry. Why they're bitter and angry? Because they're taking birth control. And not so much the birth control itself, but they're really angry at the men who are forcing them to take birth control, and it makes them bitter and angry and past their prime in their 30s. None of that makes any actual rational sense, but he said those words in front of actual people, and people listened, and some people actually were agreeing with it. I don't know those people personally, I don't think, and they haven't come out to me, and they can if we want to. We can have this discussion, but Charlie Kirk is essentially being an ass. That's essentially all we're getting here is him being an ass, which is what gets him views and clicks and money anyway. So as I say in my rules of life, rule number 1 is don't be a blank, and you fill the blank in whatever you want to be, with the caveat being, the idiom on that one is, if you're going to be that blank, be a good one. Charlie Kirk's going to be an ass. He's a pretty good one. So go forth and prosper, Charlie Kirk. Let's talk about our apologies, omissions, and errors slide. If you're watching the video, you see I'm behind on slides. And right now, very quickly, we're going to hit this story because it popped up and I was like, wow, that's interesting. Speaking of Gypsy Rose Blanchard being married in prison and divorcing after 2 years, Anna Taylor-Joy reveals that she's been married to her best friend for 2 years and didn't tell anybody. Literally, didn't tell nobody. She got married in New Orleans to her best friend, a actor-musician named Malcolm McRae Taylor, and they've had a great ceremony. It was all, done, but she didn't really celebrate it publicly. Y'all didn't know about it. She said this in a recent interview, and she's having a great time. 2 years hitting a good spot, as opposed to 2 years not hitting a great spot for the other couple we talked about earlier on. Let's get into our teaser story for this morning. This is a story that we could talk about as a headline in tomorrow if you deem it worthy, of the chit chat. How does that happen? We have feeds, we call them. There are links on Facebook and Twitter, or X if you're still calling it that, or X if you're calling that now. I guess I'm saying that backwards. I'm still calling it Twitter because that's what it is. And if you follow those feeds, you can vote up stories by just engaging in them, literally clicking the little emoji that for your choice on the story and going forward with that. Reading it and sharing it helps as well. Go to facebook.com/this is a conversation project, or twitter.com, x.com if you must, /th_conversation. Every 50 minutes or so, we give you a news story headline from various sources. You engage in it as you want to. This one coming from a local station from 7 News in Boston, but this is a national story. The recipient of the world's first genetically edited pig kidney transplant released from hospital. The first man to get a pig kidney as a transplant has been released from hospital. We will see how he's going to be treating very well. We will save all the pork jokes for tomorrow if you deem this one worthy of chatting up. So you have to do the work first. Get this one in the top 15 stories. Top 15 of over 30 stories in a day. Get a chance for a look. We pull 8 of those stories, give to you in the headlines every single weekday morning. Well, Monday mornings, give you 10 of 30. So But you get the gist of it. If you like this story, when it comes live, make sure you engage the hell out of it so we get it into the feeds for tomorrow. That simple. Let's move on to our spotlight sponsor for the day. That happens to be Zenni Optical. I'm wearing my glasses from Zenni Optical right now. I just had a checkup and my eyes changed slightly a little bit, but they're not too bad. However, when I bought these glasses, they changed quite a bit, and I didn't get that updated prescription. So I wear them to drive. I wear them for reading some things, but in some cases, I just take them off to read with my eyeballs. This was not the time to be hit up with my doctor about the bifocals because she's been bringing it up a couple times. So that's one of the things that happen in recent conversations. And so if I'm ready for those, when I'm ready for those, I'll be ready for those and we'll get them from Zenni Optical because these frames are less than $10 and they have been for a decade. So every time I get a new pair of glasses, there are these frames. I like these frames. They cost very little. The lenses, very inexpensive as well and take care of stuff. In fact, the little tint on these, it helps me read a little bit better was an awesome addition I learned from another YouTuber, and it just worked out that affordable glasses are good. You don't have to pay much money for good glasses. Good glasses for little money can come to you from Zenni Optical. For women, for men, for children, they also can do stronger, thicker lenses for sports glasses, things for blue blocking technology, things that do transitions. Anything you're looking for in glass techwear, they've got it at Zenni Optical. Check them out at this. It's theconversationproject.com/Zenni. This is theconversationproject.com/ZENNI. Zenni Optical is an affiliate sponsor from us. So when you buy from them, it costs you nothing extra. We do get a small commission as a part of bringing you into the store. So check them out. Help a brother out. Help the Conversation Project out by checking out. Help yourself out pretty much by checking out Zenni Optical today. Conversation Project lives online at this. It's conversationproject.com. Check us out for all the grand things we do at the Conversation Project every single day by going to our website. This is theconversationproject.com. We have details on how to find the feeds, how to engage in the feeds, how to find sponsors, how to become a partner, help us going things, how to find us in various different ways, including an audio version if you're watching the video or a video version if you're watching the audio, and of course the newsletters and things and the short takes, the videos we do on YouTube Shorts and TikTok to find the hot takes and some other things we're doing as well, trying to get as many things going on. Life's been pretty tough and pretty hard lately, if you will. So trying to find new ways to get new content out there has been interesting. We have a brand new feature with our streaming program that actually can look for AI clips. So we're trying to do more of that stuff right there. We may pay for another function for AI clips and make that work out because AI clips do some work when you can get them properly done. It's just the expense of more stuff, more stuff. As a partner, you can help us with those costs if you deem us worthy. Otherwise, go to the feeds, Facebook and Twitter, and let us know what stories to talk about because that's the important thing about this show here. Email me for free at theconversationinbox@gmail.com and let me know what I can do to help things out. If you consider us good enough for partnership, we greatly appreciate it. We will take good care, be good stewards of your assistance, guaranteed. That fun stuff I promised you, it is here. The fun stuff happens every single weekday morning. We always begin with birthdays because the birthdays are the funnest of the fun stuff today. Special shout out birthday to Nancy McKeon, who's 58 years old. She played Jo in The Facts of Life and some other things as a young actress and hadn't done very much acting at all. But recently, she's been seen a lot in reunions that have been sort of just sprung up on with Facts of Life cast members. And she's a very good friend of Leisha Wishel. They've actually, hang out a lot as they were the same age going through the things in the time. They actually were good friends. Also, the rest of the cast as well. But we're seeing a lot of Nancy McKeon out and about these days at 58 years old. Still looking like Jo, just not doing much Jo stuff or acting stuff. Also, birthday wishes to Robert Downey Jr., that guy, 59 years old on the day, and Natasha Lyonne, who's only 45 years old. I thought she was in her 50s, but she's only 45. Only 45. Trust me, she's very much still in her prime, Charlie Kirk. She's got it going on, Charlie Kirk, and Don Lemon, just in case you were wondering. Our history lesson for today, very quick step into 1968, where today is the anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. in Memphis, Tennessee by James Earl Ray. A lot of commemorations, a lot of ceremonies you'll see out there today, a lot of news clips going into the assassination on this day back in 68. This is a reckoning that we've had a long time to come to. And unfortunately, as time goes on, We tend to forget things and not focus on things. 68 was a full, almost full decade before I was born. So trust me, this is something that doesn't just come up, pop at the top of mind in my head when it comes up. It has to be reminders have to come up in these ways. You have to kind of sit back and think and remember. There are a bunch of other really big things that are momentous on this day that you'll see if you subscribe to the newsletter or you just look into the comment section or look in the description and comment section of the video, the audio that you're watching. It has listed down there. But today is the day we're going to mark a special anniversary. Well, special is not the right word for it. Commemoration of the incident, and hopefully move forward to do better. Your word for the day today is cryptic, and it means of an obscure nature. More of the words of the day and more words at the Big Words Project, bigwordsproject.com. More on that in literally 30 seconds because we're going to very quickly obtain today is Vitamin C Day. On April 4th each year, we share the ways vitamin C nurtures and benefits our health inside and out. So eat an orange, take a tablet, or sing the song, put a smile on your face, that vitamin C, even though it's really not about her, it's about the vitamin, and celebrate vitamin C today. Fends off colds, helps you keep you well, and other great things going on. It helps reduce blood pressure and may help lower the risk of heart disease. But check with your doctor first. Now, finally, one more day to bring up the Big Words Project and the new book out for the Big Words Project, which is Big Words You Ought to Know, Volume 1, From a Butt to Zest. 100 words are in this book, so you can get this book today, tomorrow, a week from today. Go ahead and order today so you can get it before the eclipse gets here, because nothing's coming on Monday. There's no traffic flowing on Monday, at least if you're in the path of the eclipse. Dun, dun, dun. So this book has 100 words, 100 distinct words that you can read, you can learn about, you can learn how to pronounce them, and has each word has 3 different uses of it in a sentence of how you go, so you can understand how it works out. Check it out today. $1 for each book sold is going to a charity, a local reading program here in Arkansas. And so there is my ethical bribe to you. Support the brother, support the children, support yourself with knowledge. Check out Big Words You Ought to Know, Volume 1. Search for it on Amazon. The Kindle and the book version are there. It also is spread on other bookstores as well. So you may see it in a bookstore near you, as limited editions may be out there. But Amazon has it covered for you right now. Sooner or later, I'm going to actually do audiobooks. I'm sure an audiobook of vocabulary words would be very boring, but we're going to start doing some audiobooks and get those out there to you as well. With that, we have done it for today. Looks like we made it. This has been Things You Might Not Have Heard for Thursday, April the 4th, 2024. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. I thank you so much for being along with us for the show, the ride, the whole shebang. Make sure you're staying limber, hydrated, and on task for all the grand things you're here to do. Not just watch our little videos and listen to our audios, but just the great things you are as a person. We have plenty of stories in the queue already, and we're looking for you to let us know what stories are good enough. You go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter, and that's how that happens. Email me directly at theconversationinbox@gmail.com, and we'll comment offline. And if you want to be a partner, we would love it. It would help out a lot. Go to the partnership page and connect with us and see if there's ways that we can partner up and get together working on greater things going forward. Long day ahead, for me at least. If you as well, take a deep breath, take a sip of coffee, and just get ready to grin and bear it, because we need you here on the other side. So that's it. We had an eclipse on Monday. That's something to look forward to. An eclipse on Monday. Either way, we have the Friday show on tomorrow, Friday, so we're looking forward to that directly. So let's gather on, do our best, and we'll see you again here, we hope, tomorrow.